Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Rebecca and I am a street style influencer, lifestyle, fashion, travel photographer. And in today's video, I thought I would share with you guys my top tips on how to take selfies. Because it got me thinking the other day, like my friends always message me asking for selfie tips and if I could help them edit their selfie. And I thought, why don't I come on here today and share with you guys my top selfie tips? Because as a photographer, I guess I think of selfies a little bit different, and everyone loves a selfie, so why not share my photography knowledge with you guys to help you get a bit more creative and think a little bit more about your selfies. So as I was writing my list to do this video, there's actually quite a few tips that I've got, and I'm so excited to share them all with you. First of all, I'm going to be using my iPhone 8 Plus to take my selfies today and show you my top photographer selfie tip. Okay guys, so my first tip feels like a really simple one, but honestly, it actually does my head in when this happens. Clean your lens, because there's nothing worse taking loads of selfies and realising that there's smudges all over your lens. It's not a vibe. Okay, my next tip is my favourite because I am obsessed with it. If you guys follow me over on my Instagram or previous YouTube videos, you'll see that I am obsessed with tunnel lighting. So lighting when you are taking your selfies is the most important thing, I personally think. As a photographer, I'm absolutely obsessed with lighting techniques, and the same thing applies when taking your own selfies. So tunnel lighting is the best way for me to explain this for you, is anywhere with an arch. What am I doing? It also doesn't matter if it's raining outside or if it's sunny. Either way, this technique will work for you. And in England, we don't get much sunshine and we do normally get cloudy days, i.e. like today. Go to a window. Go to your front door, because this way you are getting a archway and then the light is only hitting your face, and that's going to be even lighting. So that is the best way to take your selfies. I cannot stress you enough that it could be the dullest day in the world, you're going to get better lighting than you would in ambient light. Okay, and then that brings me on to my next tip, which is actually a product I purchased off Amazon, and it's basically this phone case, which is a anti-gravity selfie phone case. And what's so amazing about this phone case is it automatically works as my previous technique, which is to use a window or glass. So this could be a balcony on holiday or a window in your bedroom. I think what I love about this phone case is it automatically draws you to make sure that is where you're taking your imagery. And also another thing I absolutely love about this phone case is I feel like it lets you get a bit more creative with your posing, because you have got both your hands. Stick it upon a glass, so this works with like windows perfectly. You put on your self timer. So when you're on your self timer, you then need to get in your pose. And I think what's so good about this, because it's the front camera, you can really see your pose. You've probably got 10, I think you can set it to 3 or 10 seconds. And in that time, you can really work out which angle you're really liking. And I feel like, yeah, a bit more creative with your hands, you know? Bring an arm out, bring an arm in. I just feel like it's a really great technique and it draws you to use window tunnel lighting. So another thing I love also about that is when you tend to do this, it does burst on your phone. So that's another reason why I absolutely love self timer on the front camera, because you get this, like, I feel like you do move when taking selfies. Facial expression can slightly change, and you might just like go through the burst and find there's one that you slightly more like. And also, I also like it sometimes to get a bit of movement in my images. The new iPhone, what you have to do a burst is you have to like kind of not press down, but like slide. So you like push down and like slide, and that will do a burst for you. But also, if you have got an older phone like myself, you can just hold that button down and it will just take loads of photos. And that's actually how I shoot as a photographer. So I feel like this technique is really good, because I feel like then you can get more movement and a bit more, I feel like, storytelling in your selfie. Because also, I love a blur. I feel like blur just adds a little bit of something, and I feel like you start then playing with your hair or interacting with like your jewellery, or like bring your hands up and down, and you get a bit more of an interesting selfie. Okay, my next tip, let's talk angles. So angles are so important when taking any kind of images. But when it comes to your selfies, I think like you need to know this rule. The easiest way to explain this is whatever is closer to the lens is going to look bigger. So this is why angles are so important. So if you want your eyes to look bigger and the rest of your face to look smaller, I would suggest taking a more of a high angle selfie, where the low angle makes it look a bit more sexy, shall I say, or a bit more arty, where it kind of defines your jaw a bit more and also makes your eyes a bit more squintier. So it gives you them kind of like, I don't know what we're gonna call them, sexy eyes, sexy eyes. So my next tip is a little bit more of a random technical one, which I don't know if people actually know this. So when you're taking selfies sometimes, do you think that's weird, I don't feel like I actually look like that or whatever, because you're used to seeing yourself obviously in a mirror. So when you take pictures on your iPhone camera, it actually flips the image. So, but it doesn't do this on Instagram story. So if you feel like you're preferring your selfies on Instagram story, like on your camera there, that doesn't flip it, so that might be why. So the best thing to do in this situation is, if you find a selfie you really like, is just try flipping it. Sometimes I don't like it flipped, but I do sometimes check if I'm like, I'm not sure. So this is a really good technique. Okay guys, and also you can do this now in your iPhone. I used to have an app that did this for me, but now you can actually do it in the Apple iOS or whatever. So what you do is go to edit, and then you're going to click on your crop tool, and then at the top you'll see this like icon where you can kind of see it's the rotate one. So you just click that, and then that way you can see that it's just flipped my image for me. And guess what? I preferred the flip one. My next tip for you guys is to add kind of accessories and kind of style your selfies. So obviously when we're doing selfies, it's normally just this part of your body. So I would suggest maybe putting on some rings, add a necklace, a pair of earrings, or like some cool hair accessories. Add a few flowers maybe into it. I feel like these details will make your selfies more engaging and kind of give them a bit more of like an arty feel. Like with selfies, like seriously just don't overthink it. And I mean, I personally feel like you can take an amazing selfie anywhere if you have good lighting. So my next tip is a bit of a hack. Is if you want to take a selfie at night, I tend to use one of the LED panels, which are from Amazon, which I can also link. But also I wanted to share this hack because I think it's a really good one for people that don't have like a ring light or an LED light, and that is to use what you've got, which is screens. So your laptop screen, an iPad screen, anything with a screen basically. And the way to do this is type into Google just like a white screen, and then kind of save that image and then make it the whole of your screen. So then that becomes a light in itself. So as you can see, I now just have a white screen. And then what to do here is now just use your screen as your light source. So I'm just going to take a few selfies and then show you how they come out. This method also does work better at night time, but I'm actually unfortunately filming in the day today. But if you guys do use this tip, please send me them, because I would love to see your results with it too. So I'm now going to bring you on to the editing side of how I would edit my selfies. So I'm going to show you what apps I use and what techniques I also use to edit your best selfie. So these are my 3 favourite apps of all time. I use these 3 for practically all of my content and also my selfies for sure. So I've just taken you guys into colour tone, and then it's going to click image. And the best way is to favourite your selfies first and then go down to the bottom and click favourites, and I'm just going to import some of my favourites. So what I love about this app is all the filters just give you so much tan, and I'm so about that life. But also what I love about it is you can also change the intensity. I don't think selfies should always be 100. I feel like you should always try and bring it down to a little bit so it does feel more natural. But I actually am going to use this filter because I love it, because it's given me such a tan, and this one's called Maldives. Another thing I like to do to my selfies is to add grain. I just love grain so much. I think it's super cool effect. You also hold down, you'll get a before and after in this app. So I'm now bringing you into Kuni. I'm just going to take the one I just edited. And the reason why I love this app is because you can add light, dust, and you can also add the date, which I think is probably my favourite feature. You can rotate it and change the size of it. I just feel like it's a really cool little add to your selfies. So now I'm taking you into Tezza. I'm just going to grab that image from earlier. And the reason why I bring it into Tezza is because I like the dust feature. You do have this in Kuni as well, but I just kind of prefer it on Tezza, and you can change that to black or white dust. And I also like this other new feature they've got, which is subtitles, like a cute quote from your favourite movie. So yeah. Another great tip is actually a DIY tip. Using an A4, A3 piece of paper. This is a DIY reflector. So if you put it under your chin, you instantly adding light to your chin, which makes your selfies more flattering. So guys, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys have learned something from my photographer selfie tips. Please subscribe for more photography videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.